Welcome to Car Talks.
Welcome to Car Talks.
If you're wondering what all of that's about, well, here's the story. To celebrate our channel getting monetized, we took the BMW 320i on a road trip from Johannesburg to Hoedspruit, Limpopo, with a scenic detour through Dullstroom. That's nearly 500 kilometers that we covered, which should take roughly about 6 hours to complete in theory. But of course, road trips always have their surprises, which you will see later on. Upon arrival in Hoedspruit, we set off on a breathtaking boat cruise at the Blyde River Canyon, where we encountered some fascinating wildlife. Stick around until the end of the video to see what we spotted. But before we hit the road, our journey to 5,000 subscribers is in full swing. To celebrate, I've secured an exciting lineup of test cars that I'll be reviewing soon. So if you don't want to miss all of those videos, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And finally, without further ado, let's get started. Manufacturers such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and the VW Audi Group are amongst a small group of manufacturers that still produce sedans in the South African market. However, I strongly believe that sedans continue to hold a special place in society. Today, we witness the G20's 480-liter boot capacity effortlessly accommodating our two cabin suitcases, which is something the VW Polo TSI we hired a month ago struggled with. Anyway, let's hit the road. First things first, as always, some petrol and refreshments. Anyway, the cost of petrol is in front of your screen. The full tank has bought us 666 kilometers of range. As numbers is no illuminati. Now that we've refueled and gotten our refreshments, let's hit the road. Aston Martin. As mentioned in the review video of this vehicle, which I'll leave in the description box, this car only makes 300 Newton meters of torque, but interestingly, it makes all of its torque from a very low 1,350 RPM. So in reality, it feels like it's making much more. And getting up to speeds of 120 kilometers per hour is really effortless, as you saw from the quick pull that we made on the on-ramp. You don't need to rev it out at all in order to get the most out of this engine. Side note, we had a couple of last-minute shopping items to pick out at the Mall of Africa before commencing with our trip. The time is now 11:11 and we are officially setting off. For the route that we were taking, this is the only toll gate we came across, and we paid 81 rands for it, which is rather pricey. Now, if memory serves me well, ALZU was never this full from the childhood road trips that I used to take with my parents, so I was a bit surprised to see this jam-packed. But it was a long weekend after all, so I guess it's plausible. Anyway, we sat down for lunch overlooking some wildlife while at it. So what was meant to be a 6-hour road trip quickly turned into 7 in reality. An hour later, we arrived in Dullstroom. Oh yes! You can already see that this is the weekend of SUVs and bakkies. And if you have neither of them, angas. I must say that I'm honestly impressed with the fuel efficiency of this vehicle. We've only used a quarter of the tank that we poured in Johannesburg, but we've already done over 270 kilometers. So that leads me to believe that a single tank will actually do over 1,000 kilometers if you're really being frugal. In a 2-liter petrol engine. Now that is preposterous. I cannot fathom it. The potholes on the stretch of road between Dullstroom and Hoedspruit are the size of a bachelor apartment in Midrand, and the government would rather invest in pothole warning signs than to actually fix them. this country is a hazard. Finally, we've arrived in Hoedspruit and we've used slightly less than half a tank to cover 478 kilometers. So technically, we have enough fuel to return home on a single tank. But we've got a full itinerary this weekend and most of the remaining fuel will go towards that. This is the entrance of our accommodation, which is situated within Hoedspruit Wildlife Estate.
Yeah, please put down my name. I'll come back. Hi, Chef Manasseh. How are you doing?
Good, man.
Yeah, please say, welcome to Car Talks. Welcome to Car Talks. Yes, good.
So we've just got back from dinner and I thought we should discuss the travel statistics. So at this point, we've covered 497 kilometers, including the trip to and from dinner at 6.2 liters to the 100, which is close to BMW's claim of 6.1 liters for the pre-LCI 320i. On day 2, we went on a boat cruise at the Blyde River Canyon, which is the third largest canyon in the world after the Grand Canyon in the United States and Fish River Canyon in Namibia, depending on which publication you look at, of course. So don't quote me on that. Anpangeli pa angendao. Now, the great African proverb, monake van, doesn't apply to me when I'm in Johannesburg. If anything, I don't care for it. Because in any case, you can't take a van to date night, FYI. But on this particular occasion, that phrase was talking to me directly. It was not going through the corners. It was going for me directs. Because the 3 Series was struggling a little bit here, and I found myself thinking, why on earth don't I own a Ford Ranger?
If you want to talk to me direct. Don't go through the corners.
Which one is our national animal? I heard a woman's voice. Is this one? What you said?
I said a blue crane.
Yeah, I heard the.
Hippos, despite being herbivores, are actually quite aggressive and kill a large number of humans annually. Stay away, folks. For the avoidance of any doubt, this episode is not sponsored by Hippo. Moving right along, we also saw a very large crocodile. And by the way, there's a difference between crocodiles, alligators, caimans, and gharials. You can do that research in your spare time. We also came across the 3 rondavels, which is quite amazing. Finally, the boat excursion was followed by dinner at the Blue Mountain restaurant. I have to say that Hoedspruit has some of the best steaks I've ever had in my life. And they're reasonable too in terms of price. And that brings me to the end of this travel video. In the next episode, we will be covering our trip back home via Hoedspruit, which warrants a separate video so that this one does not become unnecessarily long. Thank you for watching and take care.